Okay, so when SketchUp Make opens, you get a screen that looks something like this. You want to choose from your templates, and we're going to go for, there's lots of different ones on offer, but there's one to do with 3D printing. We're not actually 3D printing this time, but basically this will be the right sort of size. So I'm going to choose this one, 3D printing, and I want millimeters, not inches. America works in inches, we want to use millimeters. So click over here and hit start using SketchUp. SketchUp pops open, that's what the window looks like. Now this here that says MakerBot Replicator, that's just basically is the size of a particular type of 3D printer. We're not going to use it, so I'm going to use the selection tool here, just drag a big circle around, a big square around it all, so it goes blue, then press delete on your keyboard and that gets rid of it. So we're back to our XYZ axis on here. And we're going to draw, I'm going to actually use my mouse roller and I'm going to roll mine around a little bit. I prefer it working kind of on an angle a bit like this. And I'm going to hold shift and move it across a little bit. I could have used the tools over here to do the same thing, but I've got a scroll mouse, so I'm going to do it that way. Okay, so the shapes that you're drawing, what you want to do is you want to think about them as geometric shapes. They're rectangles, they're squares, they're cylinders, there's bits cut out of them and so on. How are you going to make them? So very quickly, if I'm going to draw a rectangle in the first place, now before I actually do anything more with it, you'll see in the bottom left of the screen, down here, there's a bunch of dimensions. It's basically saying to me, that's the size I've drawn it, am I happy with it to be that size? I'm actually going to type some dimensions of my own in, so I'm going to type in 200, 100. So it's saying I'm going to make mine 200 millimeters long by 100 millimeters. I'm going to press enter, and that's the size of it. Now it looks a bit small, so I'm going to zoom in using my mouse roll, and I'm going to drag across using shift and my mouse roll, so I can get it positioned on the screen a little bit nicer. Okay, so what do I want to do with it? I'm going to use the push-pull tool, and I'm going to select this surface and I'm going to pull upwards. Now the same thing, any particular tool, when I drag it, if I then type numbers in, it'll make it that size. So I'm going to make this, instead of 41 mil, I'm going to make mine about 30. So I'm going to type in 30, press enter, and there we've got it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw a rectangle on here now. All I need really is the starting corner. I know I'm going to come up something like this, but what were the sizes? Well, it was 100 and it was 30, so I'm going to stick with the same size. So I'm going to type in 130, or rather 100, 30, hit enter, and it's made that rectangle for me again. So again, push-pull tool, select the area I want, start pushing upwards. How far do I want to go? Well, I'm going to look at this one roughly. I'm going to say maybe about 70 I'll go up. Press 70 in there, hit enter. So my shape's beginning to come along here. Now, the actual shape that I wanted to do has got a cutout in the top and a cutout down here. So what I want to do is I want to try and do it a bit accurately. So what I might do is actually bring this around so I can see it a bit better, and I might use something called the measuring tool. Okay, tape measure tool. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on this top edge. It's found the middle point. I'm going to drag downwards, and I'm going to come down, I think 25. So I'm going to click 25 and press enter. And you can see it's put that dotted line in for me. Okay, that means that from there to there is 25. It's not actually a real line, it's just a construction line. I'm going to do the same from the bottom. Find the midpoint, come upwards, type in 25, press enter. It does a dotted line for me. So now I know where I want to make my little cutout. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, now I've got my two dotted lines, I'm going to come to my rectangle tool again. I'm going to click, click, and then drag across. It already knows those points, so now it can't see anything on there. But now if I try and do my selection tool, you'll see that there is actually a different rectangle. And this one's going to go down, not up. Let me actually move this with by panning and moving it around. You can see as I come up and down, it decides if I want to extend down. I think this one's going to go downwards. So I'm going to go down, I think 40 looks about good. So I'll type in 40 to make it accurate. Put my 40 in there. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing now over on the end over here. So I'm going to bring this one around, get it so I'm pretty much looking at it. And I'm going to use my measuring tool. I'm going to use the same thing. I'm going to go across 25, press enter, does a line for me. Come across this way, 25, press enter, there's my two lines. Go for my rectangle tool again, click, click, come down, click again. Can't see much going on there, but if I grab my push-pull tool, you can see it now selects that. Can't see what it's taking out until I move it around a bit, but now as soon as I move it around using my mouse roller, you can see how far out I want this thing to go. So I'll look at my sizes and I say maybe I'm going to go for about 130 and see what that looks like. type in 130, and there I have it. Now what I might want to do is tidy up a little bit. I don't need all these dotted lines, so I'm going to drag my little rubber over them, erase them. They're gone, they're out the way. Now the only thing I might want to add to this now is I want to put some colour on it. Now to make it colour it nicely, rather than have these as all individual faces, I want to make them one object. So I'm going to grab my selection tool, I'm going to drag a box across the whole thing, make sure it's all covered, it all goes blue, right mouse click and say make it into a group. So now SketchUp's going to view this as one object, not lots of different ones stuck together. I can now open up my materials. So I'm going to put some colour on this by going into Window and Materials. It opens up a little window for me. There's loads of different ones to choose from. I'm in the one called Colours. Well, in fact, it's called Colours Named. I could do it like carpet or brick or whatever, but I'm going to stick with colours. Choose a colour, maybe a nice pink. You can see it turns into a paint bucket. Dump it on there. I can close that out of the way now if I want to. And now I've got my three-dimensional, I can even look at it from underneath, my three-dimensional block. Now once I've made all my blocks, I'm just going to reposition this one. I'm going to choose the Move tool, click on my object, move it over here so it's a bit closer to the center. I can position all four of my shapes. I'm going to save my work, File, Save As. I'm going to call in mine, what shall I call mine? It's going to go into my Term 3 work for Year 7 CAD. I've already got one there called Shapes 1. I'm going to call this Shapes 2. Press enter, and later on I can actually export this. File, Export, has a 2D, which means a picture. I'm going to put mine in the same place. Now yours is not going to be as complicated as to where you save it, just where you normally save your work. And I can call it the same name, Shapes 2. Hit Export, and then if I actually go into that folder and show you, here's my, where is it, Shapes 2, this one here. So this is the SketchUp file. I can tell because it's got that little picture. This is the picture, so I can open that one up, okay, and you'll be able to give that image to your teacher when you've got all four shapes on there. Okay, good luck.